Hello, welcome to the stream. Um, yeah, I am very surprised that I was actually able to pull off this week. But hello, viewers. Hello, people who somehow found this months from now. Welcome to the countdown stream. So, for those who aren't aware of what happens when this series runs, it's that every single week before the step back video releases, I spend the hour before launch talking to the audience, saying stuff, taking questions from the audience. I see we already have some people. We have Taro Yamada. Hello. Hell Fox Fox, some of our regulars here. Hello, hello. David Zakedi is here. Hello, hello. And I do this every time. I'm going to be taking 1 week off from doing the stream in 2 weeks because I'm going to be in the United States with my in-laws. So, woo. Hello, Doughboy DeVito and Hannibal Lukey and Jaco. Welcome to the stream. If I could give you guys a little wrap-up on things that are going on for me in this last week. So, last weekend I had... All right, so a couple things. One, the video coming out today was a blocked, I had filmed all of my YouTube space stuff. The last video I filmed in that batch, the ones where I was sitting in the TTC thing, that ended last week. And then the next chance I had to go to the YouTube space and film more videos was yesterday. So I had to make a video for this week, and I had very little time to do it. And so I actually, I made an old style step back video. I will say that I'm more proud of the script of this video than I am the visual look of the video. It's animated, but it's not. I don't think it's that good. I don't understand why people like the animation more anyway, because it's more boring to look at in a lot of cases. But anyways, in an hour, you're going to get the finale of the Columbus series. Hello, my Scandinavian friend, who I still can't remember how to pronounce the name of, but on the CK2 Zoroastrian Let's Play, I actually have a date for that now. I wrote it down. It's going to be on January 6th. So January 6th, mark your calendars, I guess. I'm going to be doing a Saturday afternoon Let's Play of Crusader Kings 2, where I'm going to make historical commentary, and due to the request of the chat, I am going to play a Zoroastrian leader. So you have that to look forward to. I'm going to have to actually research and remember how to play this game again. So it's going to be January 6th at noon Eastern time. So in Europe, it'll probably be about 6 p.m. All right, let's take a look. Thank you, Hell Fox, for wishing me good luck. Thank you, Ace Beater of the Base, for saying you love my videos. I think I saw you just commented recently on my last stream, so hi. JC. Hi, JC. Nice to see you. This summer, Canadian history meets his wacky American in-laws, and hilarity ensues, starring Rob Schneider, rated PG-13. Oh, strange things get become happening when you get married, and having in-laws is one of them. I don't mind them, but I also know that if they knew a good chunk of my personality, they would not like me very much. And so whenever I hang out with them and I go to America to spend time, I have to be on my absolute best behavior for about a week straight. So I talk a lot about the weather and about very surface level subjects, and not along for family rituals. But it's going to be Christmas time. It's going to be fun. I have a new nephew, and I'm excited to go see him because he's like 9 months old now, and I haven't fully accepted in my brain that I'm an uncle now, so I have to go and actually see him and see how that works out. That should be fun. And yes, of course, I would be remiss to not say that right now it looks like America is losing net neutrality, which is going to be quite a strange thing to happen to America and the planet in the next few months. So we'll see how that turns out. It's a scary time. Rahul Nambiar, hello. Zadias, thank you very much for all of your kind words. Yes, Ace Beater the Bass, you made a comment on my stream, my random stream from yesterday, where you basically just said, like, I heart you or something like that. And I was like, oh, that's nice. Sylvan Gaudreau, thanks for your stuff. Well, thank you for watching my stuff. Will you indulge in the fine CK2 tradition of being a terrible person? I mean, you can't really succeed in CK2 if you're not a terrible person. But when it comes to the options of playing as Zoroastrians in CK2, you're very limited. So I'm going to have to be more of a brown noser for at least the first few centuries, or else I'm not going to get anywhere. Ooh, Zadias, you just gave $1 on Patreon? Thank you so much. I really appreciate it. I thank you. You're making this channel really run. I really am. That's really awesome. I'm able to move slowly towards doing this full time in a few years because of the support of people like you. So thank you. Yeah, so you're only 17, and yet you have a few nephews who are older than me due to the fact that I half siblings haven't had kids. So this is a new one for me, and it's not even anybody in my family. Like, I have a sibling, I have a sister, but she's not planning on having any kids. It's my wife's sister who had the boy. That's going to be that's my nephew, and I have to go meet him. He's apparently very cute. I don't know. Net neutrality seems like it was a thing that was always going to be on the chopping block because we've had to now like rally the entire internet to save net neutrality like 3 times, and it's like, oh, it's gonna go. It's gonna get killed one way or another. And that sucks because the internet was like the one like place that had something fiercely anti-capitalist in that everything was treated equally. So how this might affect the rest of the world is that, first of all, the US will act as sort of a model for other telecommunications companies, especially in countries that are really crappy when it comes to telecommunication internet, like Canada, where if they start prioritizing and making these really dumb packages and tiering, that there's other countries that are going, or other companies that are going to follow suit. And it'll stifle a lot of innovation, especially in Silicon Valley and stuff. So a lot of the American center of tech development is going to be clipped to some extent. And a lot of, even though the United States is not the only country on the internet, a lot of internet traffic comes in and out of US servers, which means that it could fundamentally slow down and force higher prices for pretty much every other country. So it's going to make the internet bad for pretty much everyone. The worst thing is that for us who are not in America, we have nothing that we can do about it. We just have to sit here and watch everything fall apart, which is great. Quinn Nichols, I have no cash, but I sub to you. I appreciate that very much. If you guys really want to help out Step Back, but you don't have any money, I understand that. I'm not exactly a rich person myself. And if you want to help Step Back, but do not have the cash to do so, that's fine. I am totally okay if you just watch my videos and enjoy them, and that's it. But if you want to help out, I'm looking to get to 30,000 subscribers before the end of 2017. And so if you have any friends or family that you think might like Step Back, but you haven't showed it to them yet, this would be a really great time to do it. Maybe, while you're at home for the holidays, show your parents a Step Back video, or your sibling, or something like that, because that kind of stuff will really help Step Back grow. So that's a thing you can do. Any good shows or movies to watch on Netflix? Deep Space Nine is on Netflix, and I've watched a lot of that. I'm also watching The Crown, and while I'm not liking it as much as I liked it last season, it's good. I think that it's a cool window into a piece of British history that's pretty fascinating. I would say that I like the episodes that more have to do with how the royal family and history meet each other than like just the ones that's just royal melodrama. But for the most part, it's a good show. So if you haven't watched The Crown yet, I'd get on that. You're watching The Man in the High Castle. That is a show that I am sitting on to watch at some point. We have a big list of shows to watch through, and we haven't gotten to that one yet. The only thing I can think of is if you're not American, like me, you can't really, like, the FCC is under no obligation to listen to you. You really just have to lobby your American friends to do it, and make sure that nothing like what happens in America happens in your country. We're kind of powerless in this situation in a lot of ways, which is kind of sad. That's about the limit of your. That's about the limit of your options. The other thing that's actually really interesting that would be great for setting up a thing is that Motherboard, one of my favorite news websites, is running talking a lot about these like local ISP providers, where because of these like big corporate telecom companies that are, wrecking net neutrality and all sorts of stuff, that there's these movements for just cities to get together and set up the internet as like a public utility and just making a local internet. And that sounds like so grassroots, bottom up, awesome. And it's like infrastructure, and it's communities building something for themselves. And I love every part of it. And I really wish that we would see more of that story. So that's what do you think of my Zoroastrian history? I haven't seen your Zoroastrian history, Joey Dub 76. Do you smoke weed? This question comes up a lot more than I thought it would. So I don't currently, but I have in the past. I have no judgments about it. I actually think it's a much safer way to get your buzz on than, say, booze. But I've never been that good at buying things in the informal economy like that, and so I've never purchased it myself. So I would always I'd take it even today if it was offered to me by friends, but I've never gone out and bought it. And it's going to be legal here. They just announced, it was in the news, I think a couple days ago, that it's going to be announced or it's going to be legal in Ontario on July 1st, 2018. So marijuana is going to be legal in Ontario in less than a year. And I don't know what my relationship with marijuana is going to be after I could just get it at the store. To me, the reason I don't smoke marijuana is more due to the fact that it's expensive, hard to get, and in order to get it, you usually have to end up talking to super sketch people, and that's like totally not what I want to do. So that's the long answer to a short question. You chose my Hiroshima and Nagasaki bombing history video for class. That's awesome, Quinn. I appreciate that. I love whenever I see that I get traffic from like school intranets and stuff, and I hear from teachers. I think that's one of the coolest things. The Conservative Party in the UK couldn't afford to abolish Netherlands neutrality. May already be in trouble. Do you rip fat clouds while vaping? I've only ever vaped once in my life, and it was at a party in a few months ago, where somebody had a vaping thing, and we were all like just curious about it and trying it. And I mean, we were also smoking shisha at the time, so we were like hanging out and trying out alternative smoking techniques, I guess. So we were like, we were doing, or not shisha, hookah. We were hookahing. So between hookah and vaping, I guess I blew some mad cotton. I'll have to see the video first. I have to think. Daddy, can we support Step Back? He doesn't smoke weed at the moment. It's going to be legal in less than a year. So my relationship with marijuana, the relationship of every Canadian with marijuana, is going to have to change in the next little while, and we're going to have to see where that goes. What do you know of Finnish politics? I know nothing about Finnish politics. I am sorry. My history teacher uses your videos. He's the reason I'm here. That is really awesome, Ace Beater of the Base. I would love to know this history teacher. If you could get him or her to, you say in the thing, if you could get him to email me at tristan@stepbackhistory.com, I would really love to hear how he's using my videos. So, because I think that's really cool, and I love to hear those kinds of stories. So, thank you. At the very least, thank your teacher for me. I would imagine that they're talking about Finnish Bolsheviks. Finnish Bolsheviks. I feel like they would have a bad taste. The Finns would have a bad taste in their mouth about Bolsheviks, but that's just me. I think YouTubers should create an MCN and use it as a union. Oh yeah. Dan Olsen from Foldable Human, he was talking about doing that on Twitter. I think it's a great idea, especially with the Patreon controversy that came up just the other day. I think that it would be really good to have some sort of way to organize our voice like that, as you said. Okay. Oh man, I like hookah. Hookah's fun. It's tasty. It's a good social activity. I've only ever done it that one time, but Mr. White, he retired last year. Oh no. Yeah, Hannibal Luki's kind of onto it. I think that prohibition does not work as a concept. It has never worked. I don't know why we continue with it, but what can you do? Okay, so let's talk a little bit about Patreon's controversy. So I got a request to talk a little bit about that. So Patreon had a few issues that it wanted to deal with. So Patreon is is the crowdfunding website that I use for trying to get Step Back to be more financially sustainable, especially because pretty much all my videos, or most of my videos, get demonetized. Pretty close to all of them have to be, or 100% of them have to be manually reviewed, I should say. They eventually do get approved, but I have to have every single one of them manually approved. For things like streams like this, though, I can't run ads because they'll never approve the streams in time. So in this case, there's no ads running on this stream. So unless super chats start rolling, and this is more just a build community, and that's fine. I like doing it. I like talking to you guys. I like things great. So Patreon has a problem where in order to consolidate, so every time you do a credit card transaction, it costs more than just the price of the object so that the credit card companies make money. So they have to do credit card fees. So in order to consolidate those, Patreon was charging everybody at the end of every month for all of their for all the people that they were patronizing. So at the end of the month, you would get charged, like, you know, if you're supporting 10 people at $1, they'd charge you your $10 plus, you know, whatever at the end of the month. And that was how it ran, and it was fine. There was some exploits that were happening, though, because people would do stuff like sign up, pledge for a creator, get all the perks, and then run off before the end of the month and just not actually pledge any real money. There's also issues with the fact that people were getting confused by this setup, and so they would send emails to Patreon being confused about what was going on, and you know, just it was causing them a lot of work. And they wanted to solve that problem by having it so that when you pledge, it charges you right away, and then you get charged on the month, you know, the month anniversary of your pledge. Unfortunately, that means that they're going to rack up way more credit card fees. So they decided to tweak the formula about everything so that you got charged something like 26 cents plus 2.9% of your pledge for every pledge you had. And so for like tiny $1 pledges, they went up by like, you know, 36%. Meanwhile, in order to make the creators not get angry, they made it so that the percentage of their pledge skewed way heavier for the creators. So the creators were going to get more money, and it was a way, and it got people really really mad, because not only was it a terrible way to solve this problem, but it was sketchy, and it had no feedback from the creators or the patrons. And so it was just a week of complete disaster for a company that actually, until then, had a very good reputation, because like no one's doing what Patreon does. And Patreon is one of the better, I think, one of the better internet company ideas that have come up in the last decade or so. So that was the controversy, and now they've walked back on it as of yesterday. And so I just got so that was just the thing. But now Kickstarter's got a Patreon competitor that's coming out in the next few years, and I don't know where they're going to go with that, but it's a whole thing. It's scary. I think that it was a bad idea. I think that they did it in an undemocratic fashion, and I think that even people like myself got deluded into realizing that no, Patreon is a for-profit company, and we forgot that. We have to be more cognizant of that fact. And that's why there were calls on Twitter to start a creator union, which would be really nice, because the Internet Creators Guild, unfortunately, is run by somebody who is actually like a major stockholder in Patreon. So there's never going to be somebody to stand up for that. Did you know about the whole national Woolworths thing or whatever? Just try looking up. I don't know anything about nationalizing Woolworths. You want to bring communism about overnight, though? You could just nationalize Amazon. The internet's going to die. The internet, yeah, if this is the end of the internet, I don't think it was Thunder's Applause. Everyone's super mad about it. Almost all left-wing / feminist YouTubers have the same problem. Yeah, I think so. Yeah, I think I get yellow dollar signs for literally everything. And then occasional videos of mine, even after manual review, are demonetized. Like my neo-Nazi video that came out last week, that one got like 100% demonetized. So my ISIS video and my 9/11 truther video, all of those got fully demonetized. And also, for some reason, my Subscriber Appreciation Day stream with Christy Winters got demonetized, which is weird, because like I don't understand. I loved your what do you think about Brexit video? You're so funny, and so that happened. Oh, that's so nice. I'm glad. I always sometimes feel like I don't fit in the so that happened gestalt, and I feel like sometimes that the chat room of the live stream hate me, but I'm glad to know that I am a welcome presence besides just Cody. I really love that Cody has been so good at keeping me on board, because if he listened to his audience, he would have kicked me off that show a long time ago. um, the thing is, I actually don't know what's going to happen to the internet after this net neutrality repeal. I don't think anybody knows for sure. I'm going to hope that it's not as bad as it seems, but it seems pretty bad. I used it to support my granddad's YouTube channel. That's sweet. I try to watch my history subs a bit later because it's so common sense for you guys. Cool. One of the memes I created got milkshake duck. Turns out nationalized marriage is a phrase used by states' rights anti-gay marriage bigots. Oh my goodness. Okie dokie. The internet's a tough place to navigate sometimes, Doughboy. Don't, as long as, you walked it back, realized you made a mistake, and we're like, okay, sorry. If anybody, I didn't know what was going on, sorry, walk it back. Like, I don't think anybody should carry a grudge against you for that. All right. I don't know if Cody's fan base is mean. I think Cody's fan base is gigantic, and so it has all sorts of people. I think that people who like Alternate History Hub's main audience skews a lot younger than me, or a lot younger than the Step Back audience, and I don't think my personality and my presence appeal very much to people who are like under 18. I don't think I appeal very well to like teenagers and kids. Which I know that there are a few teenagers who are in the chat, and I really appreciate you guys are right here. But you guys are the exception rather than the rule. If you look at like my analytics, 25 to 35-year-olds are like almost half of my audience. So that's it. So you guys are a cool exception, but I don't think that I appeal to the regular teen. Okay, so this is a good question. So the net neutrality repeal is a national US thing, right? What impact can it have worldwide? And that is that a lot of internet traffic goes through the United States. And also, the United States tends to be a thought leader when it comes to corporate policy. So if net neutrality is repealed in America, then a lot of telecommunication companies in America are going to set up all those tiered internets that people have been talking about. And if those become more profitable, which they probably will be because they'll be basically like, squeezing us to death, then other companies, other telecommunication, other ISPs in other countries will start doing the same thing. And once that starts happening, then they're going to start lobbying for repealing net neutrality protections in other countries. Not to mention the fact that a lot of the websites that most of the internet goes through are American sites. And so now they're going to have to they're going to have to pay dues to ISPs in order to be seen. And it's just going to cause problems. It's going to be a mess. Unfortunately, the world is too interconnected to just say, oh, it's an American problem. We can just walk away. Are you going to see the new Star Wars? I mean, I want to, but I also don't know of a day that I'm planning to go see it. Like, I haven't like put a day on the calendar and be like, I'm going to go watch Star Wars this day, because I'm super busy. And then I'm going to America next week. So I have to figure out when I'm going to do that. But I want to see it. I'm not like crazy to see it like it was with The Force Awakens. I want to see it. I don't think I think I'm going to like it. I'm just like with Rogue One, I saw it when it came out on DVD, and Episode 8 I would like to see in theaters, but if I end up missing it and having to watch it when it comes out on DVD, that's not the end of the world for me either. I don't really have enough money to go to the movies in a big way, but I do have a gift card that I got for Christmas, so maybe I'll do that. I am glad that there's a lot of teenagers here who like my stuff. I appreciate you guys. I'm just saying that you guys are the exception more than the rule. There's a bell curve, and the peak of the bell curve is 25 to 35-year-olds. But I would say that in general, Cody's audience skews younger than me. So he has more young people who don't seem to like my content as much. But I love that there's young upstart history buffs who are watching Step Back. That makes me very happy. Do you think there will be a re-election in Germany? I have no clue. I haven't followed what's going on in Germany. I live in the UK, so what have you seen? Oh yeah, for anybody who doesn't know what So That Happened is, So That Happened, although a lot of you guys have probably come to Step Back through that, it's a live streamed audio show. It's supposed to be a podcast, but making it an actual podcast with an RSS feed on iTunes and stuff seems to be a thing for a future time anyway. But myself, Cody, the host of the Alternate History Hub, Emperor Tiger Star, and Tyler, a friend of Cody's, all sit down and talk about stuff for a couple hours on Sunday nights. And I'm doing that. We've been doing that for a couple months now, and it's pretty fun. And yeah, it's every Sunday. It's on the Alternate History Hub channel. Yes, Jaco, I actually did a video about net neutrality for the Alternate History Hub. We did a collaboration together back in October, and it was about systems theory and structural collapse and why the repealing of net neutrality was would be problematic for the way that society functions, and it would cause a phase change. Now, let's hope I'm wrong on that, because it's starting to happen. And Jaco, you recommended a video. I don't know if I've done like a straight up video on the Aztecs yet. I've done one on the Mayan calendar. I've done one on I've talked about the Aztecs in a number of my videos, but I don't think I've done like a straight up Aztec video. There's only 3 episodes of the podcast live, like in the syndicated feed on the So That Happened YouTube channel, but there's been tons of episodes that have been recorded, that have been done. They're just done live on the Alternate History Hub, and then I guess they're done after the show's over. So if you want to catch the show at the moment, you have to go on Sunday night and watch it live. I'm working on it to get Cody to let me syndicate the show in a more systematic fashion, but Cody is super busy and it's hard to communicate sometimes. He's got what's it called? He every video he makes has like thousands of dollars riding on it, so he is in a different place YouTube wise than I am. He once gave me channel advice by saying that I just need to make a video that winds up on trending, and then I'll be fine. And I'm like, oh yeah, is that all it takes? Just get on trending, okay? He means well, and I like him a lot. He's a really nice guy. We had a lot of fun. We met up at VidCon, and we had a really good few nights together. But he's just in a different place YouTube wise than I am. One of my friends is going to enlist and join the Navy after high school, and I jokingly called him things like a warmongering imperialist. Oh, boy. It's a difficult decision. I never know how to feel about it when friends of mine are considering the military or police or anything like that. I'm always very conflicted about that decision. Have you made a video on Constantinople? I actually have. I made a video called "Why Was Columbus Looking for Asia," which was basically talking about how the age of exploration was a response to the fall of the Byzantine Empire by the conquering of Constantinople by the Ottoman Turks, which is true. That's how the whole age of exploration got started, because the Ottomans basically conquered the last gateway to the east when it came to trading with India and China via the Silk Road. And they were imposing taxes on it, and the Ottoman Empire was becoming super, super rich. And so the West was trying to find a way to reopen trade with China and India, but in a way that didn't have to go through the Middle East and therefore through the Ottoman Empire. And so they started like circumnavigating Africa and, crossing the Atlantic and all that kind of stuff. And looks like, let me just check. I'm just going to verify. It does look like, it does sound like net neutrality is dead. But let's. Yep, the internet, end of the internet as we know it. The Republican-led FCC ends Obama-era net neutrality regulations. Lovely. America. This Trump presidency is going to just all of the things. It seems like all of the things that were going on in the world that we were like dangling on the precipice about, we're just jumping off the cliff now. Like, we were at the edge of being able to do something about climate change, and then we're just like, no, screw it, let's just do nothing. Or net neutrality was a thing that we were always fighting over, and now it's just gone. And like the path to America getting basic healthcare services are disappearing. Like it's tragic what little progress America was making, and the things that we were close to having really negative consequences about are all just happening. Sad. In the words of the president, sad. Oh man. That makes me sad. I mean, like, it's a president who's going to, I think one of my the professor that I was working for and my supervisor did say in one of the lectures after Trump got elected, like it was January, so it was close to his inauguration. He was just like, you guys don't understand the gravity of what's going on. Because he was like, even if he's just serving for 4 years, everybody in this room, your life is going to be objectively worse because of this president. And it seems that's turning out to be true. There is some hope about the net neutrality thing. It's not a strong hope, but it is a hope. And that is the Electronic Frontier Foundation is planning on launching a suit against the United States to protect net neutrality, and they're going to hope that they can push a Supreme Court decision about net neutrality, and the fact that they think they can make an argument that violating net neutrality is unconstitutional. I don't know how well that will work out, but that is a hope that could happen. How many British viewers do I have? I think that they're in my top 5. I think that the way that I think it works in for the stats for my viewers is number 1. They didn't say that in America. It was in Canada, but also it was pretty true. And the stuff that he said about what was going on in the world, like his last lecture for that course was on how do we even handle the world we're living in right now. He literally like he was supposed to, he was like, it was originally planned that he was going to do the Obama years lecture, and he just skipped ahead and was like, no, historians need to really think about how we can do something about our current moment and really worry about it. And it is super it was very moving because he told some stuff about how he's going through a family crisis, and like he has like a like 11 or 12-year old daughter, and she was they let her stay up late to watch the election, and they're just like, how do you say what happened? How do you tell that story? And it's, how do you face something that's that's so inevitably terrifying? Just to let you know, when it comes to like the neutrality thing, they also let me guest lecture on the George Bush War on Terror years. And you can imagine how that was. So, you know. Plus, I would think that it would be biased against reality to teach a course that intentionally didn't point out that the American right has consistently been a force for destruction, hate, and basically a force of malevolence in American history. Like, that's just, it's so measurable. I don't know. We've been talking about net neutrality off and on through the whole thing, but I am in favor of net neutrality, and now it's done, and it's sad. I hope that there's a way we can walk back from the abyss on this, but we shall see. A lot of my career plans have to do with an internet, so we'll just see how that turns out. So somebody asked me, what was it? Oh, about British viewers. The United Kingdom is in my top 5. I would say, though, over half of my viewers are American. Something like 52% of Step Back subscribers or Step Back viewers are American. And then after that, it's Canadians, probably because of my personal social network and the fact that I made a video about Canadian history. Then I think number 3 is the United Kingdom. Wait, no, number 4. Number 3 is Australia. There are more Australians watching Step Back than British people. Then it's British people, and then number 5 are Germans. So yeah, Germany, UK, Australia, Canada, US. Those are my top 5 Step Back countries. There are Indians who watch my videos, just not very many. I imagine it's because my videos are in English. I know that there's a lot of English, like there's a lot of people in India learn English, but I imagine that it's not the primary thing they want to watch on YouTube. And internet penetration in India is still pretty rough. But I think if I did more Indian history stuff, I would probably get some more Indian viewers, and I would like that. That would make me happy. I don't think I'm not going to speculate over whether Donald Trump has a mental illness. I think that doing so is rude to people who have mental illness. And also, I think that trying to explain away what Donald Trump's doing as mental illness, I think undermines just how what he's doing is the result of not just his own actions. This is not an aberration of American policy. This is just, he's really, in many ways, just America without its polite veneer of respectability on it. He's just doing what America does anyway. Is it just USA providers that can do that? Or you're in Europe as well? We shall see. I was kind of talking about how the United States could possibly start a chain reaction. Other companies in other countries might follow suit if it turns out to be profitable. How many Swedes are watching Step Back? If we're going to get this question, I should probably load up my analytics, huh? Do you consider yourself an anarchist or anarchist leading? I do consider myself anarchist or anarchist leaning. I just am never 100% sure about... I think that it's an inevitability, but I also don't really... I'm not super steeped in anarchist philosophy like some others are, and so I can't really speak and wax lyrically about it. So that's the main problem. Okay. Trying to find the map of where people are coming from. Okay. Let's do some video. Let's do some more stuff. Why you only do Western history? It's what I know and what, unfortunately, non-Western history has there's a lot of context that I don't know, and to make a video every week might, I'd have to spend a bit of extra time, which might make things difficult, because if you make a mistake, you'll know about it. And I try to do it whenever possible, but I also know that when it comes to discovery and stuff like that, it's harder. But I want to. I just have to think about the right thing to do. I am also an American historian, so I'm a U.S. historian by trade. So that's like the main thing that I know. All right, so we have requests about countries, and so India is actually 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. They're number 8. They make up about 1.5% of Step Back viewers. Sweden is at number 7 and it's 1.7%. Greeks, they're not even on the first page. So I can't tell you much about where Greece sits in this thing. Have I done my PhD Viva yet? If not, my PhD Viva. I don't even know what this term is. PhD Viva. Let's find out. Oh, like your defending your thesis. No, I'm not going to be defending my thesis probably until 2019 or 2020. So, not yet. Is this a livable career? I hope. The channel has to grow. At the moment, where I'm at with my income, I would need to have about a little over 3 times the amount of income I'm making through Step Back in order to do it full time. So I'm about 1/3 of the way there. So I suspect when I get to around 100,000 subscribers, I'll probably be able to just barely live on my Step Back money. If I do something else like write a book that I can then sell to my audience or something like that, that equation might change. Or if I start getting sponsorships, that equation will change drastically. But at the moment, those haven't happened. So I can't speak. You want to know about Japan, huh? Japan is on here somewhere. I have seen that Japanese viewers are represented in Step Back at some point. Let me just... All right, Japanese viewers. Japan makes up 0.3% of Step Back's overall watch time. You should talk about Islamic history and religion. Most Westerns. I talk about Islamic religion and history all the time. Come on. You'll make a second channel subscribe to me. You're so kind. Honestly, if you want to help me grow Step Back, just show Step Back videos to your friends and family. That's the best way to do it. Seriously, just let somebody know about it. Word of mouth is so important with this kind of thing. And the thing about Step Back is that the data shows very concretely that Step Back does well for anybody who finds it. So the people who discover Step Back like it a lot. I have very high subscription conversion, and I have very high engagement and watch time retention. So that means that when people find Step Back, they like it. They subscribe, they watch the videos, it's good. The problem is that people have trouble finding Step Back. I have exposure issues. That's the main problem with the channel, is that I'm having trouble having new people find my stuff, and that's the main thing I'm trying to solve at the moment. When it comes to Ireland is pretty high on the list too. Ireland is about 0.9% of Step Back viewers. And I do have some plans to do Irish videos probably in 2018. So there you can see some stuff. My Auntie Tasha has a crush on you? What? That's a new one. Man, Ace, beater of the base. It sounds like I've made an undue impact on your life. Your history teacher plays my videos. Your aunt has a crush on me. I don't know what's going on over there. That sounds like a lot of things. I found you through the videos you did with Cypher. That's really good. Cypher's a really nice guy. I'm glad that I did some stuff with him. I finished watching the parasocial relations video, and I have thoughts on it and want to make a video of, but I don't want to show my face or edit. That's the problem. If you have thoughts, but you don't want to show your face or edit, you should probably just write a blog post. Just go on Medium and write an article. That's the way I would do it. I've written a couple things on Medium, but if you want to say something and you don't want to have any identification on that kind of thing, that would be the place to do it. I love your videos, but some of your older videos have creepy whiteface animation. I know, my old stuff used to look awful. I'm glad I don't do that anymore. And JC, yeah, World Revolutions is a pretty good video series. You had a pretty good time. I'm your favorite Canadian. There's like 37 million of us. And like one of them is Jim Kerry. Come on. This is favorite Canadian. You'd be surprised by how many like celebrities are secretly Canadian. I recommend some talks for Irish videos. It would be on Brehon Law, the Irish System of Law, British Rule. The video that I have on my list to do about Ireland is the IRA. And probably like some other really like well-known topics in Irish history, like the potato famine. I'm trying to take the more obscure things that aren't very search friendly and save them for when I'm a larger channel and I can get away with that stuff. But I think I was having trouble with Step Back with exposure because I was making videos on subjects that no one had ever heard of. And unfortunately, if you want to grow on YouTube, you have to make things that are very searchable and applicable usually to an American audience, which is difficult and it limits me somewhat. But once I have a big enough audience, then I can only, then I can tweak stuff. So let me find out. Your opinion on historical YouTubers like Lindy Beige and Scalagrim. I feel like I've heard of Lindy Beige, but let me just check out real quick. Maybe I haven't, Oh yeah, this guy. Yeah, he's all right. I think his videos. I remember his videos being pretty good. I am subscribed to him, so I do like his stuff. I just didn't have the face to the name. Let's check out Scalagrim real quick. Okay, so Scalagrim is it's this guy. So this guy's entirely about like medieval armor and weapons and stuff, and that's like it's cool, but it's not a thing that I would subscribe to. But I did not know that Jim Carrey did a messed up movie. Mm. Oh my. How about Native American tribes religion and world religions brought to America? I do have hope. I do have plans to do some stuff about indigenous peoples in the Americas again. There should be a video coming out in late February to that extent. Pet Detective is an. Oh yeah, I forgot about the whole transphobic thing in Pet Detective. Holy crap. Man, there's no good 90s movies. Avril Lavigne is the best Canadian. I'll take that. She seems pretty cool. I don't know her too well. I heard she once got Lyme disease, but she seems to be pretty good at making music. And she's from a really tiny town in Ontario that I had to drive through every single time I went to Montreal. And it's like this little tiny town, and it's cute. But I always remember like, oh, isn't Avril Lavigne from here? Yeah, she is. I don't think she lives there anymore, but the British did do terrible things in Ireland. That is very true. In England, in English, we're reading Animal Farm, and your communist video helped me with the context. That is a great. I never thought to pair that with Animal Farm. Animal Farm is a pretty good book, though. Usually, when tanky socialists, people who believe in like the Soviet Union and stuff, they are people who need to read that book because if you're like a lefty pole person who seems to love Stalin, you should read Animal Farm. Did Lindy Beige have bad political opinions? I honestly, I only watch any videos if anything looks interesting, but I haven't watched any of his like Q&A stuff. So we are running low on time. I'm gonna try to do this. What was it called? Thunderdome style. Let's try to answer as many quick questions as possible. I love it almost as much as my auntie loves you. Oh my goodness. Well, you can tell your aunt that I said hello. That helps. Red Green, the Red Green shows was man, that is classic. Oh, doesn't believe in climate change, does not wash his pots after cooking pasta. Wait, you don't wash your pots after cooking pasta? Won't the salt corrode the dish? Like, if you salt your pots and then boil water in it, and then you boil pasta, and then you don't wash it, the salt is going to corrode the steel. All right, Dan Dilly, I actually have plans. I'm going to be doing a series or starting a series in February that's going to be kind of like a crash course U.S. history that lasts way longer. And that there should be some cool stuff about all that stuff with Native Americans and Mexicans and all that kind of stuff. Do you avoid watching people who have political opinions you don't agree with? It depends to what extent. I disagree with the political opinions of a lot of people. And I think that I would be pretty lonely if I just didn't watch anything with anybody who I disagreed with. But there are people if it's like on fundamental things like racial equality or gender equality or social justice or anything of those things, like, yeah, I'm not going to watch them. I'm not going to watch like, I don't know, like neo-Nazis like Black Pigeon Speaks or what's that guy's name? Carl Benjamin, Sargon of Akkad and stuff like that. Like those people are not worth my time. But there's people like ContraPoints where we have disagreements on some political issues. She's more liberal than I am. or people like Jason Unruhi, who is way more of a tanky than I am, but still watch the stuff. So it depends upon the person. Depends upon the degree and what kinds of things we're disagreeing on. Yeah, Animal Farm is a rally against totalitarianism and should be labeled as such. All right, we're getting super close to the end. Do you have a girlfriend, Hannibal? Hannibal, I am married. All right, it's 2 p.m. I will have to call it for this week, but I'll see you guys next week. In the meantime, here's a new Step Back video for you guys to watch. I hope you guys enjoy it. I would suggest listening to it. Anyways, you guys have a really awesome day. I'm going to go and work on my next video now. It's going to be the Christmas special, so I'm going to busily work at that. See ya.